So I saw someone else at the same practice, and it was really nice, but I was very uncomfortable the entire time. Like, just positioning wise, it was like everything was just coming back up my throat. Hi friends, welcome to my 35-week pregnancy update. It is a gorgeous day here. The sun is shining and we are like 2 days out from daylight savings. I'm so excited because summer is coming. Hay fever is also here, so if I look like my eyes are all watery and stuff, it's because they are. But let me get into this week's update. So Annie was sick last week. This week everyone has been sick except for me, and I am so paranoid that I'm going to get sick. So Jack came down with whatever it is that Annie had, and Annie still has a runny nose. It's been like 2 solid weeks, but he is much easier when he's ill. He is very like cruisy and he just wants to lie down and sleep kind of thing. And we had like medication on hand, so it was a lot easier to treat him. Except that he got croup, like a croupy cough with his, which is quite common for him. So on Sunday night, I was up a lot of the night with him because he was just coughing, and Shane slept on the couch and I brought Jack into bed with me and I didn't get much sleep. So I'm very tired this week because it's been full on. And then Shane got sick on Wednesday. It was the day he stayed home from work, and he hasn't been back to work this week because he got something else that's different to what the kids have had, but it is like a raging sore throat, like more flu-ish type symptoms. Like it's not the flu, but like more of the achiness and general malaise and things like that. So he's been out for the count. He's been sleeping all day, which he needs to do because he's ill. But it does mean that it's been pretty full on for me, which has been okay. I've coped with it all right, except for Sunday and Monday. I've had these niggling back pains, which I had the same with Annie, and then on Sunday and Monday it was just like really, really bad to the point where I couldn't really walk without being in a significant amount of pain. And like when I say walk, I mean like hobble and shuffle like a 90-year-old. Like it's bad. So Shane actually took a half day on Monday because I couldn't function. I was like running on very, very, very little sleep from being up with Jack all night, and then I also couldn't walk. So physically I was just done. So it's been crazy, but it hasn't been a terrible week. It's just been challenging. I've dealt with it much better as far as mental health goes. I've been in a much better space. I'm really out of breath. And I think that's because, no, I don't know why that is, because I just know that I'm dealing with that better, and like I'm enjoying the mornings again, which is lovely because that's like my favorite time of the day, and I was really struggling with them. Still struggling to breathe. But yeah. Fingers crossed I don't get sick, because I was sitting there thinking, which would I rather get, what the kids have had or what Shane has had, and really I don't want either. So, especially being so close to this baby's due date now, I'm just like, please, no. So I'm 35 weeks now. Annie was born at 37 weeks, 5 days. So, the countdown really is on. Obviously, I don't know if this baby will come then, but I have to be prepared for her to come then. So I was feeling all sorts of anxious this week with Shane being ill, because I was like, gosh, if I go into premature labor, I was not prepared. So I went out and bought several postpartum things for myself. One thing that I did get this time, used it in all of my, like both my postpartums previously to this, but is witch hazel, but usually I just like poured it on like pads and stuff after I had the baby. This time I went to Kmart and I got some like travel bottles, and they're the spray type, and I poured the witch hazel in there so I can spray it. So I think it'll be a bit more practical. So I got that, and just, you know, all the other postpartum stuff that you get. A positive of this week was that I went and got my hair cut. I got trimmed and I feel so much better. I couldn't believe how much it took off, how much it had grown. I can't remember the last time I had it cut, but I want to say it was probably about 8 weeks, something like that. But yeah, it feels so much better. I'm glad I got that done before the baby comes, because last time I like booked it with Annie and she was actually born the morning of the day that I booked my haircut. So I wanted to get ahead of that. As you can probably tell, I am swollen. I'm mostly noticing it in my hands and my face. My feet do get swollen. They are swollen, like my ankles are swollen, but not to a terrible degree. Like, it's not causing me pain or discomfort. I went to the chiropractor yesterday for my back pain. It wasn't the greatest of experiences. I went in my pregnancy with Annie, and I saw this female chiropractor who is like trained in maternity care, and she was brilliant, and she fixed the issue straight away. This time I couldn't get into her. She didn't have any bookings for several weeks. So I saw someone else at the same practice. And it was really nice, but I was very uncomfortable the entire time. Like, just positioning wise, it was like everything was just coming back up my throat, and I was just uncomfortable, and I didn't feel like it did a lot. I don't know. And my back hurts today. So I'm going back on Tuesday for another adjustment, and I'm kind of praying that my back's really sore that day so I can feel if it's making a difference, because yesterday it wasn't super sore. But yeah, so that happened. And then last week I saw my midwife. I don't think I updated it in here, but I saw my midwife. Everything checked out fine. Everything was looking good. The only thing she was concerned about was when I said that the mucus plug, TMI alert, was starting to come away, and she was like, okay, can you just hold that baby in for like 3 more weeks, please? So I don't think the baby's coming anytime soon, but at the same time, if my water spontaneously broke, I wouldn't be like super surprised, you know, because that is a pre-labor sign for me. It's usually happened a couple weeks before I've had my babies, so I don't know. And that's just continued this week. Like, the pre-labor signs that I had last week are pretty much the same this week. And I've been so paranoid about getting sick, but then when I watched my update with Annie at this point, I was feeling the same way, in the sense that I was feeling a bit fluey and like really congested, and it was the same time of year, so it's hay fever season, so I feel like it's probably more pregnancy related stuff than it is sickness. At least that's what I'm praying for. That's how the week is gone. She is not comfortable. Like today, I actually, if I didn't look like a total idiot, I would walk like a cowboy, because that is how uncomfortable it is to walk with like my legs close together. She's just hitting all the nerves, and I just can't walk very much at all. So she's low, but in saying that, for the first time ever, I felt rib kicks, which I've never felt in my pregnancies before. So I feel like she's just taking up every inch of room, and I've got a stretch mark on my tummy, which I never had with either of my other two. So I feel like in general, there's just less muscle, a lot less muscle tone, and so she's stretched out a lot more, and she's like just using it all up, stretching out everywhere, which is great. I know she's healthy, and I've also noticed her doing that practice breathing, where I'll just see my tummy like going up and down a little bit, and I know that she's practicing her breathing. So that's really good to see and to know. And I'm just like getting the last few things together now, because who knows how many weeks she's still going to be in there for. Yeah, that was my 35th week of pregnancy.